Does Diddy have something to do with why Jesy Nelson isn't releasing any music and why she's kind of a little bit MIA? I want to talk about this because I kind of introduced this idea beforehand. And as this Diddy situation is unfolding, and I'm really starting to think more and more about everything I've been learning just about the entertainment industry and just the nature of predators as a whole, it occurred to me something that's seemingly obvious, but it's just a speculation. I don't know. She hasn't said this. But I personally have found it odd that even though she's been through so much, she's still so strong and she still has kept going. So for me, I don't see why she wouldn't release her music until it kind of hit me that, of course, when you are an artist in the current Hollywood that we like, as we love to call it, they will expect you to be under their control. So one thing that I've been looking at and noticing is how, and it's true of predators, predatorial people are like this, because they need you as their little pawn for whatever they're trying to do. They can't afford for you to be independent because they need for you to be somewhat dependent or have some kind of control over you so they can make sure what you're doing, they can profit off of it. It's the same thing with Britney Spears. As soon as she decided, oh, I'm going to go and do stuff myself, I'm going to, like when she did the Give Me More music video that she decided to record for herself, she did it herself. When she wanted to go and do her career how she wanted, all of a sudden is when everything started to come tumbling down, all the scandals and everything, because they didn't want her to be able to do stuff by herself, because if she does it by herself, then they don't have any control over her. And this is what they do in the industry. They have to maintain control in order for them to continue what they're doing. So when they feel like they don't have control, then they probably will stop you from being able to do anything, either by slandering your name, closing all the doors, making your life living hell, getting you like sectioned or diagnosed with something, getting you put on a conservatorship, something, because they have to be able to control you. So what I'm wondering is, Jesy steps away from where she was before. And I kind of feel like she basically, what she probably realized was she was being handed over from like one handler to another one. Because what was the first song that she did when she goes solo? Bad Boys by Diddy. Right. So he's allowed her to use the song. Okay. They obviously would have had to meet. The chances are, because again, he's one of these people, as we can see, allegedly, who is obsessed with being in control of all the people that are around him, because he has to be, because otherwise how is he going to make sure he can make sure what he wants to happen happens? Offers her the song. She probably innocently, not knowing any better, thought, this is lovely, this is so nice, this is amazing, I'm really being received into the industry. Nicki also being there, which Nicki I've now established, as much as I hate to say it, but it's the truth, Nicki has sold out. Like at this point, she's sold out. She every now and then she starts talking about something that sounds good, like sounds like she's making sense, but then she just continues on with the same degenerate behaviors, and like it's not even about the talent anymore with her. I don't even know what she's doing, and I honestly think even she's kind of aware, like that the way that she carries herself these days, it seems like she's kind of aware that she's not what she once was considered to be. So, but she continues in the industry, and that's the other thing that we forget, that when people are still able to just continue in the industry as if like nothing is happening, like they're able to release music, they're able to tour and everything, that probably means that's because they're walking in agreement with the industry, because they're not going to have that experience if they're trying to do things independently. We see that with the likes of people like Tom McDonald. We're seeing that with lots of artists, and I'm wondering if that's what we're seeing with Jesy. I wonder if she got into all of this, she was received, because obviously she was from the UK. She is from the UK, and Nicki and P. Diddy are in the United States. So I wonder if they tried to kind of like, oh, we like her, she's got a good vibe. She would be a great investment for somebody like P. Diddy and Nicki Minaj. She's an incredible singer. So she's quite unique. I feel like everything about her is quite unique. Like her voice is very unique, her look, her vibe, everything is quite different. It's not like a lot of these industry plants that just sound the same. You know, there's so many artists in the industry these days where I'm like, I can't tell which of the like 20 famous women who make music like this and dance like this and dress like this you are, kind of thing. And then you have the ones where they're actual artists. Like Billie Eilish is another person I would say, yeah, she actually, you know, she's a proper artist. She writes her own stuff. And a lot of them, there is a lot of them, but there's also a lot of just these repeats. So then I thought to myself, if she got in with Diddy and he let her use the song, I reckon what happened, this is my genuine theory. What I think happened is they heard that she was walking away and she was going independent, right? They then say, oh, we would love to support you, like come on board, yada, 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 right? Then again, this is the entertainment industry, so everybody's connected. So for me, it's like the equivalent of if you work at a company and you have like 10 managers, like it's like you being like you have your line manager, and then they're at the same position at all the other 10 managers, but you all have just been randomly assigned a line manager, and all that happens is you'll switch your line managers. Because that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Like I wonder if she's basically just was switched off of whoever she was with before, connection to X Factor, to the next batch of another line manager under the same umbrella of the same Hollywood that we're talking about. So I reckon she goes independent. She's ready to go. She probably doesn't know enough about like the heinousness of the industry, not because she wouldn't have experienced it, because I believe that she would have experienced it, and so she would know that there were some things that were sus. But I feel like as we live in a world where people don't believe in the spiritual things, people don't even believe in the devil, they don't believe in God, they don't believe in all this stuff. So the true nature of a lot of this gets overlooked by people because they think, oh, like there's nothing really going on here, like it's not that deep, it's not that important, whatever people are thinking. And so that's how a lot of these people are able to fly under the radar, because no one's suspecting them, because everyone's like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you like acting crazy? Like, this is literally not even that important, or it's not even that bad, right? So I think that she got offered like, hey, do you want to do it? Because if I was Diddy, this is what I would do. I would offer her, I would be like, hey, do you want to use the song and whatever, which is a big opportunity. I don't think we focused enough on how huge of a deal that actually was. And the more that I think about it, the more that I think it was definitely something that was a severely strategic move by the entertainment industry, because not only is it a good song, not only is it reviving an old, good classic song that a lot of people appreciate, it's reviving it, and it's also creating destruction and division, which we saw, because people are like, why is this white woman on this song? I think she killed it. I think her voice was great for it. That's just my personal opinion. So if you disagree with that, that's absolutely fine. I don't see anything wrong with her being able to use it. I'm not like really feeling sorry for myself for being black. I don't feel disadvantaged for being black, to be honest. And in certain areas, for example, in the entertainment industry, there are a lot of ways where, yeah, we're actually better off. Like, for example, how they invest more money in a lot of these problematic rap videos and all this stuff. Like, we're actually a lot better off in a lot of areas of the entertainment industry. It's actually a lot harder for other people, which was revealed through Jesy. That's how I even started making videos about it, because I was thinking, well, it's gonna be hard for her, because she naturally has a quite soulful voice that people are gonna try and act like she's somehow stealing from our culture, when she's just another gifted individual that the Lord created. And so just her wanting to even be herself, even her tanning, like I said, like other people tan. Look at Beyonce, who flipping bleached herself basically for the last whatever we saw. Also, I discovered today that her mum was the one, Tina, was the one who was speaking negatively about the dark-skinned girls in the original group that Beyonce was in when she was like 8, and this group eventually, after a lot of time, became into Destiny's Child, kind of morphed into Destiny's Child. So, you know, she was actually the one being racist anyways, like talking down on the darker skinned girls, Beyonce always being lighter skinned, and her skin has lightened over the years. So again, I'm just kind of like with the black community that is like diehard Beyonce like slaves. Like, it's interesting that you can talk about race and whatnot, and when Beyonce is like practically white with blonde hair and whatever that picture was, I can't remember what it was. I think it was some kind of award ceremony or something. So yeah. So actually, we're a lot better off in a lot of areas as the black community. We can get away with a lot more. Like, no one's going to say anything to me, like sitting here if I had, you know, whatever. So anyway, yeah, so I felt for her in that regard. So I think that the industry thought, this is genius. This is a genius play, because we can make a big kerfuffle about this. And then that's why we have industry folks, the likes of the Leannes, the Emanike's, and people getting involved with slandering it, because it all happened on the day that the song was released. But then, and that was the crazy part, Diddy's the one who's allowed it. So surely, as any other artist out there, I would just say, hey, it's your artwork. Your artwork is your artwork for you to go and do what you want to do with. That's why I don't think it's my place to tell somebody what their story should or shouldn't include. So when I say something like that, if somebody has a story and they include something that I fundamentally don't believe in, right? It's not my job to tell them that they need to change it to what I believe in. If I can make my own artwork and I can make it the way that I want, and it's not your job to tell me that I need to include what you're wanting to be included. That's why if a white person was to make a movie that had only white people and there was not a person of color in sight, who cares? That's your art. That's your artwork. If that's what you just desired to do, go for it. Don't just add in, some other races in there and add in a couple of Indian people and a couple of African people and a couple of Japanese people, a couple of Filipinos. Don't just start adding in people just because. It's your own artwork. Like, do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not feeling misrepresented, you need to work on your own representation, which I can say that because I've done that for myself, again, in this same Western world that we are feeling sorry for ourselves in. Anyways, I've gone off the ledge. So I think that this whole topic was a perfect opportunity for the entertainment industry to kind of create a big kerfuffle, create a big story. If I was Diddy, this is genius. Also, it's got his makeup all over it because it's his song that's being redone. And then there's Nicki and him and all that and whatever. So I reckon he basically did what a lot of the industry does, where they give you like a lovely offer. It sounds good. It sounds amazing. Blows your mind. Wow, they're so supportive. And then even all of us were here so happy for Jesy getting all this support from Nicki, because I want to know where that support is gone as well. Like, are they still, I don't know. It could be happening behind the scenes for all we know. Anyway, and then after that, after the backlash, I feel like it was easy for us to assume, and it's easy for the industry to make it look like she is gone into hiding because of maybe the backlash and her being potentially afraid of what's going to come next. But what I actually believe is a more viable answer, because she has had to endure a lot and she's a very strong person, is I reckon she's actually battling with either getting involved with them to a point where she will not be able to as easily do whatever she was planning on doing herself independently. Like maybe she got tricked into something. I don't know. Or every door that she's trying to open being shut because people like P. Diddy are just so powerful in the industry. Because it's very possible that as she's trying to, very possible that if he wants to work with her and he's not prepared to let her thrive without him, which again, like I said, she is a great choice. If for somebody to work under you, she is somebody who's highly capable. She's actually naturally talented. She can actually sing live and everything and dance. So, if she was to consistently make music, she would probably become one of the top musicians eventually, because she already has a fan base that is a strong fan base despite everything. So I'm kind of looking at it like he might just be thinking like, look, if I can't control you, like nothing else and no one else gets to have you. And I honestly kind of think that's what's happening. And I wouldn't be surprised if everything that she might be trying to do, the doors are just shut. So for example, if she's trying to upload her music onto Spotify, maybe he has contacts at Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. If she's trying to hire certain producers, maybe he's telling producers like, if you work with her, you'll never be able to work with us again. And of course, we're never going to hear these conversations. Well, we might now, because we're in like the season of exposure, so lots of things are being exposed, so we may come to find out about a lot of this stuff. But realistically, it will be so easy for him to and others to just silence her. And I wonder if that's what's happening. I honestly think that's what's happening. I honestly think it's either that she realized what she's getting herself into in the industry and that there's no walking away from it. She's not prepared to be involved in these parties, in Diddy's parties and stuff. She's not prepared to get involved in all of that. But so it's either that they've said, well, you don't have to get involved in this, but then you can't do anything. Or they've said, this is the only way you're going to be involved. Or somehow there's some kind of ownership of something or some kind of control, or the doors are just being shut because she's been blacklisted. Because you got to remember, guys, that people, I always say this is why a lot of these folks, like the P. Diddy's and the Kris Jenners and all these folks, the reason why they focus so much on the money element and the connections is so that if they want to control people, like I said, it's all about control, then they know you can't go to somebody else because they can just pay that person off. If you're prepared to pay a producer $100,000 to produce your album, for example, they'll be like, well, we'll pay you $500,000 to not ever produce an album for her. Well, we'll pay you $10,000 every month for the next 3 years if you never produce a song for her. She may never even know about those types of conversations that they even happened, because that's the thing. I think it's becoming clearer and clearer as we're looking into all this stuff in the industry that the people that are doing crazy things in the industry, they're not They have so much more power than people would like to think. And it's just not as easy as I think we would hope it would be for, oh, I'll just pick another producer. Oh, I'll just pick so-and-so. Even myself, I know a lot of people who are at the early stages of their music careers, you know, artists from all over the world, actually. And one thing I've seen from all of them is there comes a point where you reach the barrier of crossover, where it's like, now you have to be in the machine. Unless you're like highly self-produced, very smart about how you're doing your stuff, it becomes very difficult to go past a certain point, especially because you're going up against these big, huge giants. So as a fan base of someone like Jesy Nelson, for example, you might be used to her, you know, releasing an album and having all these music videos coming out and all this big campaign. That's when she had the whole machine working in her favor. So imagine how long and how difficult it is to even just do that on top of having that machine working against you is insane. And that's why a lot of artists get to the point where they like, look, I'm just going to book small venues with like 300 people, and those people who love my music will be there. They're not big, like, so we've seen that happen with some of the like Fifth Harmony girls. I know Lauren was doing something like that, kind of, where she was just like, look, I have my little venues, I have my loyal fan base. Even JoJo's doing a similar thing now, you know, just having, not really in the industry, not really in your face, but doing your own little thing in your own little corner. I just wonder why Jesy is still not releasing stuff, and I feel like there's some kind of issue, and it's to do with Diddy, because it was kind of a bold move for him to even choose her to allow her to use his song. How many different people, how many different artists, how many even just people, men and women, could he possibly have given that opportunity to? And so for me, I feel like as well, and this is also true of predators, is they have levels. They have people that they consider like not that important, and then there's the ones that they consider like so important because of what they can gain out of them. So certain people are going to have more effort put into silencing or stopping or trying to recruit than others, because if you've evaluated and you think, okay, well, this person isn't that particularly good at singing and not that particularly talented, they're going to care less than somebody they think, well, I know this person's going to be the next superstar, which is kind of what I feel like happens all the time with these celebrities, where like it's obvious that they're going to become something. And so it's like, we can't let this happen and us not be in control of it. And also we can't, and I think this is another big part of it. Anyways, you guys should also tell me your thoughts. I think another big part of it is they don't want to like allow something that can then give us, the people, hope that, oh, you can actually walk away from the industry and be super duper successful the same way that other A-list people are successful without us, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's just my theories that I'm throwing out there. Let me know you guys' theories in the comment section down below. I do think this is interesting. I would love to know what actually is going on behind the scenes, because I just get the feeling, I just have a strong feeling that the reason why we're not seeing stuff from Jesy is not just because of it's something to do with Diddy even somehow, and I'm just not sure what it is. Anyways, guys, if life's a game, let's play to win. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.